Around the Table on Harrison's original KHOC.
And welcome to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. It's Monday, July the 7th. And here we are.
Oh, what a weekend.
You had a very busy weekend, I know.
I had a very busy weekend. We traveled Thursday over to, let's see, where did we go? I think we went to Hardy. Went to Hardy and had a tribute for Kelly's brother.
Yes.
And I met a lot of her side of the family.
Some that obviously you hadn't met.
Some I hadn't met before, yeah. And it was, her other brother has a piece of property right there on, I think it's called Spring River. And he's got a house on stilts.
Yes.
Yeah, all those houses down there on stilts. And got to work out going up down those steps.
Oh, I bet you did.
Yeah, some of those people out there have elevators.
Really?
Well, they're outside elevators. And you saw how they were made. They're made out of aluminum, and they had a little motor on them. And I think that's cool. I think it's really cool.
Well, there you go.
Of course, it's not very cool when your electric goes out. You know, you still have to. You remember the old TV movie, the Robinson Crusoe?
Sure.
Family Robinson.
Family Robinson Crusoe.
Yeah, something like that. Or Swiss
Family.
Swiss Family Robinson. That's it. Swiss Family Robinson. Anyway, they had their own little elevator. They had an elephant and rocks, and they put, it was cool.
Wow, what a blast from the past there, Dan.
Yeah, really. Blasted my brain thinking about it.
Isn't it amazing what just pops in your head?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff pops into my head every few seconds.
Well, and did y'all shoot off fireworks and all that mess?
Yeah, well, I was
as part of
I was the designated fireworks person. I don't know why. There was a bunch of younger people out there, and
maybe they didn't trust them.
I don't know. Well, Kelly more or less coordinated this event, and I was kind of there to help her.
Sure.
So we were exhausted.
I bet you were slammed with
2 days of that. Yeah, it was one day to meet and greet people, and then the next day had the service. And we had a couple military people that came because he was in the military. And they came out and did a flag presentation and the bugle. Oh, it was just it was fun. And they got to stay after the event, and they took their coats off and their ties off, and
it became the celebration of his life.
That's what it was all about.
Yep. Yeah. So I and I appreciate those things. I don't like a morose mourn.
Yeah.
Family's mourned enough usually.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. Not what I mean.
Life is about living.
Yes.
And giving tribute to those that aren't with us anymore.
Most
it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And we did lose somebody that we had both had been associated with. Ken Bailey passed this weekend, I guess. And
he was one of the original Ozark Arts Council dudes.
I think he was instrumental in getting the lyric purchased into the Ozark Arts Council.
So I'm sure this whole town mourns the loss of him.
Yeah.
Although he hasn't lived here for some
well, he's lived here for quite a while. He started House of Hope.
Yeah.
And he started Quail Tree and different businesses in town. Yeah. And he was even a partner at the Hotel Seville at one time.
So, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Him and another guy that were partners in that.
Our condolences to his family for sure.
Absolutely. And he was even a captain on one of my episodes. Star Trek episodes. So, yeah.
Well, if you'll go to Dan's Facebook page, you can see a little tribute of him.
And what Facebook is that?
Isn't it Dan Reynolds?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you can go there. Yeah, I'll put a little tribute up there.
On your personal page if you're friends with him. If you're not, I don't know.
Well, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July, and everyone has all their fingers, and
That's always a good sign.
I was in charge of the fireworks, and I didn't want the stuff that was on the ground.
You want the stuff that's pretty and
I
blows
want the
up.
stuff that's
yeah.
exploding.
Yeah.
But I was so focused on that, I never got to see any of it because you're just sitting there lighting everything,
Right.
lighting and trying to get them to,
Right.
keep
Make sure they're going to go and be
Yeah.
in timely manner and all that.
And we had one that exploded on the ground.
That's always a frightening thing.
Well, it was for me too.
I'm
Because
sure it was.
I think I was probably 5 or 10 yards away from it, and it opened my ears. I mean, the concussion. I'm sure it blew whatever hair I have left on my head. It blew that, and my shirt. It blew my shirt. I could feel it on my chest.
Thankfully, it didn't blow any shrapnel.
Really.
You know what I mean?
But it was in a tube. A cardboard tube.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy duty cardboard tube. We couldn't find the tube. The tube was gone.
Really?
Yeah, it was just
Disintegrated.
disintegrated.
Well,
Did you have any experiences on?
we
with
watched
fireworks?
some really, really good fireworks and
Okay.
some excitement there on that behalf. But yeah, we had a good 4th.
Yeah.
Matt Bell is one of our guests today, and he's going to recap a little about Fire in the Sky here, plus talk about some upcoming stuff. But yeah, anyway,
Good stuff going on.
good stuff.
Good
people.
stuff
Good
going
stuff.
on.
And we hope everyone
Absolutely.
had a safe and good.
And the weather was
Holiday.
good for 4th of July. Too.
It was.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
was,
I
it
think
was.
maybe a little sprinkle here and there, but for the most part.
Well, since you want to, since we've prefaced the weather, how about we talk about
Let's
the weather?
talk about the weather. Little muggy this morning.
It is.
Yeah, a little sultry.
You kind of know there may be some thunderstorms out there, and there
Mm-hmm.
is a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 a.m., then chance of a chance again after 1 p.m. Mostly sunny with a high of 89. Chance of precipitation is at 50%. Now, I want to mention, yesterday there was no rain in the forecast. Richard's,
Mm-hmm. all
or
it
there
did
was
was
till
rain.
a certain time. And he's out in the yard mowing, and all of a sudden I'm seeing, he's just out there mowing in the rain. It's just like, I'm going to finish this come heck or high water, because we hadn't been home all weekend.
We had
so.
a little squall that came through your area yesterday. I watched it. Didn't hit us, but it came through where you were.
Well, then tonight is a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, precipitation chance at 20% and a low of 70. Tuesday, showers and thunderstorms likely again after 1 p.m. Precipitation chance is 70%. So we may get some rain tomorrow. And then Tuesday night, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low of 69. Wednesday, go ahead. You just finish it out.
Wednesday, 40% chance of showers with a high around 87. The overnight low is 68 degrees. 20% chance of showers on Thursday, high 90. Thursday night, low 71. 20% chance of showers on Friday with a high around 93. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it looks like a 40 and 50% chance of showers with the highs in the mid to upper 80s, and the lows will be in the upper 60s. So
Okay. There you go. There's your forecast until it changes, which will happen.
yeah, they say it was going to, I think the next couple of weeks, it's going to cool off a little bit. I don't know how long that will last, but
It's only early in July, so I bet it's not going to last long.
yeah,
You know how all that plays out.
I know. And
Well-
we have Wanda Massengale and a pet of the week. I don't know what
Yeah.
the pet is, but
Well, she sent us a little message here, Dan,
I
that
looked
says
earlier.
it is Sugar Glender is a 2.5-month-old female kitten. Sugar Glender.
They're running out of names.
I don't even know what to say about that, but okay.
Okay.
Whatever. I didn't name it, and you can
right.
change it, I guess, if you want
Another
to.
kitty.
Yeah. Little kid.
Okay.
They're always interesting to have in the studio. For
They
sure.
are.
Yep.
They do their own thing.
Well, okay. Do you want to preface the topic to
Oh,
ponder?
well, this is your topic
I
to ponder.
know, right? But you came up with the
Yeah.
actual questions.
You had the idea of what would you do now, but you didn't do before. Something.
How would you
similar.
do? How in certain situations? How would you have reacted? Say in the past versus today.
How
like
your
now.
reactions,
How you,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
so
it.
Should we just
Just jump
do
in.
this?
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Okay. I'm going to read it.
Go ahead.
When chaos hits, what is the first thing you do now that you wouldn't have done in the past?
I used to react instantly in the negative. Like,
Yes.
Now it's like, I'll just buy another one.
So if something breaks.
If something breaks, I can always get another one. It's not like that one is the only one on the earth.
No, but do you ever face a challenge with things that aren't working correctly that you,
Yes.
rather than going to buy a new one, you have to fix, or if you
yes.
at all possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do everything that I know how to do
Right.
to fix it. And then the frustration hits a fever pitch and I say, I'm done. And then I look at it again, maybe a little bit later. Mm-hmm. And I say, I didn't try this. Oh, that fixed it. Or I'll say, hey, do you know how to fix it? Mm-hmm. I'll ask people.
Processed. You process through it.
Yeah, you process more.
And Richard does the same thing, but he's pretty much bent on, I am going to fix this. And if it's not fixable, it will end up in the shooting range a lot of times.
Well, yeah.
Target practice, whatever
I think my mentality, being poor most of my life, my family
you
was
have
poor.
to fix.
And you learned that if the bike chain breaks, then you put a wire
You fix
in
it.
the chain to
Yeah.
you do things to fix.
Yeah.
You don't go buy something
Right.
new. You just try to fix what you got.
Right.
And that's where the invention of duct tape came in.
Duct tape is just like the best stuff ever.
Yeah.
Until it's not.
And I still have that mentality. Well, why do we need to buy a new one? Let's just fix what we've got.
Right.
But then at some point you go, I fixed the motor, I fixed the belt, I fixed the heater, I fixed all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, you know what? It's time for another one.
Guess I've exhausted all the possible scenarios to get it fixed on my own. It's time to file 13 that sucker.
That's why you buy a new car.
No, it isn't. Not always.
Was that an impulse buy?
No.
No.
I had been like researching. I mean, I like what I have. I like my Cadillac. When I got into it, this is my fourth Cadillac. When I got into a Cadillac XT5, it was SRX back in the day. That was my dream car. Like, I would drive through the Cadillac place here in Harrison, and I was like, I love that car, but I'll never be able to have one.
What
that
is
was my
it?
mentality.
What is it about a Cadillac that you like?
It's part of it's the luxury of it, and just
got
I
everything.
just
You got the
like
heated
I've
seats
got, and now I have cooled seats.
You got cool seats, though.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But once I got into the Cadillac, and I've never had a brand new one, so this was kind of my splurge that will last me.
Well, you don't know if this will be your last car.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, it looks exactly like my other one. My son's like,
Well, I couldn't tell the
why did you
difference.
do that?
But our topic to ponder graphic is up on Facebook.
Good.
I checked it this morning.
Good for you.
They come out every morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah, early.
They come out early, and that's the way I like it.
All right. So today's topic to ponder is when chaos hits. What is the first thing you do now that you wouldn't have done in the past? And our whole week will be based kind of on that premise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to find out more about our viewers and listeners.
Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Because our first guests are walking in the door.
Okay.
So let's get on with it.
Okay.
And here's Today in History.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
We, of course, have an old and a famous spirit here at West Point, and we think that all that it's been in the past will be boosted by the presence of the girls as cheerleaders.
49 years ago today, the first female cadets arrived at the United States Military Academy, West Point. Some people objected. Football coach Homer Smith had his own reasons for welcoming the women. What were you looking at there, Dan?
I was looking at the guests.
Oh, okay.
If I am confirmed in the United States Senate, I will do my best to serve the court and this nation.
This was back in 1981, 44 years ago. Today, President Reagan announced he would nominate Sandra Day O'Connor of Arizona to be the first woman to sit on the Supreme Court. O'Connor retired in 2006.
Alrighty.
I don't believe that anything I did while I was at the NSC was a violation of law.
38 years ago today, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North began his testimony before the congressional committees investigating the Iran-Contra affair. He insisted he had done nothing wrong during this time as an aide for the NSC, the National Security Council.
Glass and everything just kind of went flying through the train. We couldn't see, we couldn't breathe, and it was, honestly, for the first 2 seconds, we didn't know we were going to get out.
This is in 2005, 20 years ago today. 56 people died in suicide bombings aboard 3 London subway trains and 1 bus. This commuter made it out alive.
And the next one, we cannot play the audio, but 18 years ago today, the 24-hour music marathon, Live Earth, took place at venues around the world to help fight climate change. The Police were among the groups performing at Giant Stadium in New York.
The suspect said he was upset about Black Lives Matter. He said he was upset about the recent police shootings.
9 years ago today, Micah Johnson, a Black Army vet who served in Afghanistan, opened fire on Dallas police, killing 5 officers in an act of vengeance. Dallas Police Chief David Brown said it was a result of racial tension.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was reading ahead. And
Okay.
Sorry.
I just want him to understand with the time that he has in jail, I'm not thinking that he's a monster or anything like that. I just want him to sit there and get an understanding that if all lives matter, how can they matter until Black lives matter?
3 years ago today, a federal judge sentenced Derek Chauvin for 21 years in prison for violating George Floyd's civil rights, telling the former Minneapolis police officer that what he did was simply wrong and offensive. Floyd's brother, Phineas, spoke after the sentencing.
It is clearly now the will of the Parliamentary Conservative Party that there should be a new leader of that party and therefore a new Prime Minister. And I've agreed with Sir Graham Brady, the chairman of our backbench MPs, that the process of choosing that new leader should begin now.
This was in 2022, 3 years ago today. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced his resignation after droves of top government officials quit over the last scandal to engulf him, marking the end of the 3 tumultuous years in which he tried to bluster his way through one ethical lapse after another.
Okay. And I can't remember if we can play the next one, but I don't have it on here. But
okay.
98 years ago today, musician and conductor Doc Severinsen was born. He's best known as Johnny Carson's band leader on The Tonight Show. Yeah. And then the next one we can't play.
89 years ago today, Ringo Starr, also known as Richard Starkey, was born. Ringo occasionally took a lead vocal with the Beatles, including this one, Yellow Submarine.
Sometimes we try and disguise the fact we're eating cake. It's breakfast, I can't have cake. I'll have a muffin.
59 years ago today, comedian Jim Gaffigan was born. Gaffigan has written books, appeared in multiple television shows, and is known for his stand-up comedy routines. Do you listen to him at all?
I like him.
I do too. He's quite
He's on
comical.
Sunday morning sometimes.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. He's got a thing.
Okay.
He's good.
All right. Well, our first guests are in the
brother.
lobby. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
And we have Explorer Harrison represented with, I don't want to butcher anybody's name. So Matt Bell is here, and I think it's Robert Sciarra. I don't know how to say his name, but that was as good as I could get. So we'll find out details here shortly. We invite you to stay with us. We'll be back after the break.
Okay.
Facebook and Hometown TV, Channel 26.1.
Welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. And in the studio, we have Matt Bell and Richard Sciarra.
Yeah.
I think I botched his name at the beginning, but that's like common for me to just like blank out. But
I've called him worse.
Oh, great. Great. We wanted to know about that. Well, you have something planned to talk about, and part of that's to recap this amazing 4th of July show that I've been hearing about that I was not able to attend.
And how amazing was it?
It was absolutely amazing.
Was it?
Top notch. I mean, we got a lot of love out there. We not only had the $30,000 fireworks show, but we brought a surprise to the crowd this year.
Can we mention what it is now for the people
that
didn't
you
get
can talk
to
about
go?
it. Yeah, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
We had a drone light show for the first time ever in Harrison.
You know, I've seen those on video, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they do those things.
I knew it was coming for weeks, and even I was still blown away when I was there. And he told me about it.
Yeah. We knew it was
how many drones were there?
150.
Daggone.
Oh boy.
Drones. Yep.
Wow.
And so to kick it off, we put our signature, first it was Fire in the Sky, was lit up behind the fireworks, and then we started with, we had a handful of sponsors that helped make it happen, and then they went into like a rocket ship, American flag, just a bunch of different cool designs.
You know, it was everything we could do to bite our tongue to not talk about that, since we had the scoop on that whole thing, but we kept teasing it along the way.
So don't say that on that, because Jerry sends me a text that night. He's like, "How did I not know about this? You kept this a secret." Sorry, Mayor.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Surprise,
nobody
Pretty
knew.
good secret keeper then.
Yeah. We had some of our sponsors that knew, because I had to get a logo from them, a good quality logo, and but they didn't know it until after they committed, right? So if they said they were going to be a corporate level sponsor, I said, "Hey, guess what? Surprise!" And they're like, "What? You're going to do what?" So it was cool.
That's why you're good at what you do, Matt.
Yeah.
You just kind of tease people into it, and then there you are. Not tease, but you know.
Yeah. Next year we'll have more.
All right.
Our plan is to double that drone show.
Oh my gosh!
And hopefully have more sponsors, because I mean, I've already got people that have said, "Hey, I want my logo in the sky next year." So
that is so cool.
You know, I've seen these drone shows, and they were showing how they do it, and they even have pyro on the drones, on some of them.
Yeah.
Where they trigger them and shoot them in the air.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bizarre. Just bizarre.
Some of these were also moving. The ones that were the craziest to me, signature, like when they did the signature bank had the cursive writing, which Explore Harrison did too.
Wow.
One we had like a moving arm that kind of saluted, and I just thought that was
my
such
gosh.
a trip to see it kind of move in real time
Yeah.
in the sky.
They weren't just there; they were doing stuff.
Yeah.
Right. I want to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and people think of a drone, they think they've got one drone, one operator. No, this is all programmed, right? It's all
computer programmed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was 150.
Daggone. I want to mention that we have Richard Sciarra in here, but I don't think have you been on the show before?
No, this is my first time with you, Dan and Ann.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what
Well,
who
no,
are
Robert was here before you.
Well played.
Well, what do you do for Explore Harrison?
Honestly, we're kind of a jack of all trades of putting on events for the town, and
Okay.
I'm Matt Bell's right-hand man here.
Okay,
So, he says jump, and then I ask,
How high? Okay.
That's right.
His official title is Director of Sales.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So
All right.
He hasn't had a whole lot of opportunity to make sales calls here lately, because, we got 3
Events.
full-time employees, and we're holding huge events for our community.
Right.
How do you fit that in,
Right.
in the work
Yeah.
week? You don't. So, and we're going to a big show next week. We got to go to Tunica for a big conference. Yeah.
Where? At the casino?
Hey, we don't
Luckily,
pick where
yes.
they're going. We just show up because it's a big.
It's a Tunica.
It's a state association meeting, so.
And I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to go with them.
Oh, yeah, of course you are.
I'll stay in their hotel with them.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned, you're busy with a lot of events. So What's next on the agenda?
Well, we'll make it official. We had to cancel the comedy at the Creek. We had a couple of our comedians that had to drop out. One for work, one for personal reasons. It's hard to get a good quality comedian in a short term. So 2 weeks out, there's no way we're going to replace them.
Right.
So we've gone ahead and canceled it. Now we want to do it at some point. We're committed to doing it. Free events at Creekside, we want to bring those to the community, but we just got to work on it, and make it happen. So.
You can't help it when things like that happen.
Yeah, so that was scheduled for July 18. Our next big event is going to be July 25th, and that is a Saving Abel concert featuring Royal Lynn and local heavy wrecker.
Oh, yeah.
How did you get Saving Abel to stop in Harris, Arkansas?
Well, so crazy.
Really?
Crazy deal. This is what's so crazy, guys. A gentleman, his name is Dean. I don't know if he wants me to say his full name, but he's a local guy. He's lived here for about a year. He pops into my office one day and says, I want to get more involved in the community, learn more about it. And I keep hearing your name a lot, so I wanted to meet you. So we got to shooting the bull, and he's in the entertainment industry. He worked for a big corporation for many, many years, and then he, left that and went into doing something a little bit more fun, and happened to, meet up with a gal here in Harrison. So he ultimately moved here about a year ago. Anyway, fast forward.
That's a typical story.
He's friends with Saving Abel. Their agent. He's good friends with the agent. Got what's her name? Erica, I think is Mr. Weeks, the lead singer. His wife. They talk. So anyway, it just comes to you never know who lives in Harrison.
It's such a small world, really. In that respect.
So Dean gets a big shout out for making that one happen, and we're really excited. Some artists are hard to work with. They are not. They have been awesome. Good. If you've seen the shout out videos that we posted that they've done, we ask them for one. He's already done a second.
Oh, yeah.
Like, who
does that, right?
So they're really excited to come to Harrison. Ticket sales are going great. You can get those at creeksideamp.com.
Okay.
And they start at $10.
Ooh. You can't beat that.
$10 for general, $20 for premium, and $40 for VIP. We'll sell out of VIP. We did it the last concert. There's no doubt in my mind. At $40, we're going to sell out.
Good.
Yeah. I want to point out that first concert. I think we people saw firsthand. Oh, this really is a place we could have just a live, affordable, spot to come. So I do expect that it will snowball the more that people see it firsthand that's been built. Something is really happening here. But I also wanted to point out that Saving Abel, Royal Lynn, they've been awesome to work with. We've lucked out in both of these shows that all of the acts that we've brought on have just been super awesome to work with.
That's good.
Very helpful. We're not just getting very lackadaisical videos. They're going out of their way and really making an effort.
Yeah.
It's really appreciative.
I have to say that I appreciate that I don't know who's in charge of involving local bands, but like Chris Luno and the White Buffalo were opening, part of the opening for
Tyler Farr.
And then here you've got Heavy Wrecker right here in Harrison.
We're committed to local. We are 100% committed to local talent. If we can use them and book them, we'll bring them on. We've already got discussions of a potential concert coming up, and I'm going to be reaching out to another. So the goal is local, up and coming, and then the big name.
Yeah.
You get that three-piece set, and you're good to go.
That's awesome.
Well, good. It sounds like y'all have got that whole mindset in the right place.
And Chris and his band killed it on stage.
They're good anyway. They're just,
Wow.
He's got an awesome voice.
They deserved to be on that stage that night with that crew.
Yeah.
Definitely. If they're listening, kudos to y'all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good job.
They aren't slackers, that's for sure.
And then what do we got?
Yeah, and then what?
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything in August. We're going to relax. And
you got
September,
the balloon.
You got the balloon thing coming up.
We're not really going to relax. We're going to be working on the Balloon Fest.
Sure.
But, we've already got 30 balloons booked, hot air balloons with a waiting list. That's our capacity. So we're excited because it's a 30th annual.
You're going to do
30 for 30.
$30,000 grand prize if somebody wins it. We had one win it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Won the $10,000 key grab, first time ever.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
And then what else do we have? Then we'll have the Christmas parade after Thanksgiving, and
It's always something
I
whatever
forgot.
pops up for Creekside Amp may.
Yes, we
happen.
got one in October. I almost forgot. It's like October 15 through 17. I don't remember the exact dates. We'll get that flyer out here pretty soon. But it's Rock the River. It's a Christian rock concert that's been going on at Minnie Harris Park.
Okay.
For a handful of years. They've outgrown the venue. So I worked with Tony Marks, who's organized it. And they've got 20 Christian rock bands that are coming to Harrison, Arkansas from all over the country.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
For a 2-day event. It's a Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday they'll do a revival. And it's pretty neat deal.
Good.
But the next thing coming up is the Creekside Amp Saving Abel.
July 25th.
July 25th. And what time do gates open?
5 p.m.
Okay.
First act plays at 6.
All right. Well, I invite everyone to get your tickets for that, like now.
CreeksideAmp.com.
CreeksideAmp.com.
Made it easy.
Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that you're here
Thank
today.
you.
We appreciate you taking your time out to come and inform us of all the stuff, plus the scoop. We really like the scoop stuff.
We're going to go sweat some more. We got a lot of cleanup.
Yeah, it's cleanup time.
Yeah.
Cleanup day. That's why we're in this on a Monday. Just so the viewers know, we don't have T-shirt
This is
Monday
not
at
normal.
the office.
And
I
that
showed
blue
up
will
in
take
shorts. He didn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
You didn't. Okay.
All right.
But bring your brother next time. We'll.
Yeah, bring Robert.
Bring Rob in.
Yeah, bring your brother Rob in.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
We're going to
Thank you,
take a
guys.
break and we'll return after these messages. Stay with us.
I would love to.
Miss Good Shepherd's thrift deals? No problem. Visit us in Green.
Streaming live on Facebook, Around the Table, on the original KHOZ.
Welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. And in the studio, we have Wanda Massengale. She is representing the Ozark Humane Society, and she has the pet of the week for, this 2-week period, I should say.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
But we want to thank you for being here and tell us all about this precious little kitty that you have in your arms, Wanda.
It's kind of frisky this morning.
His name's Sugar Glider because they said her face kind of looks like a sugar glider.
Oh, sugar glider. Okay.
What is that sugar glider?
They're like squirrely looking things.
Yeah, they're kind of like flying squirrels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not really squirrels, but anyway. She's 2.5 months old, and she's not fixed yet, of course, because she's still too little.
Right.
I asked about Tootsie Roll, and she's adopted, and Smarty is still there.
Okay.
Now, Tootsie Roll's on hold because I don't think she was old enough to go.
Mm-hmm.
From July 5th until July 15th is Bissell Pet Foundation Empty Shelters, and the Ozark Humane Society is part of that. It's $40 for cats, kittens, dogs, and cats. I mean, it's all the animals.
So
out
Bissell's
there.
back in business.
Okay.
For 'em, and
Okay.
it covers the shots, rabies, spay, and neuter, $40.
Wow.
And I looked it up, and Bissell Pet Foundation is sponsoring reduced adoption fees at 300 plus shelters in 40 states.
So not only do they help with spay and neuter, because they have some, I think, some funds that help with that, but they also help with the adoption itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
And they, I asked about in-house. They've got 36 dogs and 25 cats.
That's a
They're
lot.
up to
That's
61. We're getting up there like it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And June's the best month this year for adoption. They had 5 dogs and 16 cats. Oh, honey, are you okay? And so they've had 21 adopted out in June. Of course, they haven't had any in July yet.
Right.
I asked about animals that's come in because of the 4th, the fireworks, and they know of one found dog, and they think it's a leopard Catahoula mix. So
wow,
it's there if someone's missing their pet.
And
or
I would
they-
suggest people go look there if your pet has run off during the fireworks and stuff. Go check there.
And I've mentioned before about you can put an animal on hold if they have to be fixed. Well, I asked about that to make sure that I had the facts right. A person puts $10 down, it's non-refundable.
Okay.
And a person has 10 days after it's spayed or neutered to pick it up before they lose their money and the pet goes back up for adoption.
Okay.
So 10 days, that's quite a window there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, it's still okay that people visit their pet that they're adopting. And they said, of course.
Well, and that you got to bond with it, and you've got this waiting period. I'm sure that's a hard time for most people to be without, being excited and be without.
And I know that next spay and neuter clinics in Harrison, July 30th and August 22nd. And that's the only dates I could find.
Okay.
Gaither Valley Rescue for the month of July is doing a special of $50 for their dog's adoption fee.
Okay.
I thought I'd mention that. Maybe that someone could bond with the pet from them.
The whole idea is to get these pets adopted.
Right.
Right.
And so we feature the Ozark Humane Society, but we are open to talking with anyone from any of these organizations that is helping to get animals placed where they need to be.
When we're talking about Gaither Mountain Rescue, how do you contact them?
Holly Osier, and they have a Facebook page.
Okay.
And
is it Gaither Mountain Rescue? Is that what it's called?
We've had Glenna Allen on
It's,
from there, but
it's Gaither Valley Rescue.
Gaither Valley Rescue.
Gaither
okay.
Valley Rescue.
Gaither Valley.
And they will put on there when they need desperate for fosters and pet food.
Right.
And the Humane Society always needs wet and dry.
Every one of these organizations that try to help animals are important equally.
I'm sure that Marion County, Madison, Carroll County, if a person lives there, they can always donate supplies.
Sure.
Because there's no way one shelter needs something and the others don't need the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it's getting to be, the weather's changed. It's hotter, and I want to mention too that Wanda usually tells us about this. That if you call and no one answers, they're probably busy doing what they're doing. So I would invite people to call back for sure.
61 pets is going to take hours and
gonna
hours.
take
I know I'm outside for hours every day.
Yeah.
And for my farm animals and things, and I don't have 61. I have 2 dogs and a cat and a stray.
Right.
Woofer Wednesday on Facebook, the Humane Society features a pet. Thrifty Thursday is when they feature things that the Calls for Paws that's up for sale, which I always find that I like to look at these things. Volunteers are always needed at Calls for Paws and the shelter too.
Can I see the kitty for a second? I want to show if I can get a pretty good
look at the little
the eyes on this cat.
Look at you, aren't you precious? Aw. You do look like a sugar glider. No. How precious.
Just a pretty cat. That's just
she is.
Yeah, she's a pretty cat.
And she's how old, Wanda?
2.5 months.
Okay.
She's just a baby.
She is just a baby.
She's
a precious little baby.
But she'll have her shots and fixing as soon as it can be done. Yeah.
Wow. And she's one of however many you mentioned.
25
that are available for adoption or to be reserved right now. So when can people go out and graze?
They are closed to the public Wednesday and Sunday. And they open, I think, at 10. Because they have to get there and they kind of clean up. I mean, there's a lot to do.
There is. And they don't have a big crew working there. So that's why it's so important if you have it in your heart to go and help walk animals, help to socialize them, that this is a perfect opportunity to use those skills. And maybe you'll find you a pet partner in the process.
Yeah, and the best way to support these animals is go to Cause for Paws thrift store.
Yes.
And donate as well as shop.
Yeah. And they're located on Crandall, right there in the middle of the Harrison. And go in there and you could even donate stuff. They've got a donate table outside if you've got clothes or
books,
appliances or books
anything,
or
CDs.
whatever.
They do not take box TVs. The old-fashioned TVs.
The old-fashioned stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they do not do
Me
that.
either.
Me neither.
It's really amazing how heavy those things were.
Yeah, isn't it?
And then they do clothes, furniture, not ratty stuff, of course, but good stuff, just like all the
There's
thrift
dishes.
stores.
There's all kinds of stuff in there.
Let me tell you, I've helped a friend clean out 2 houses from their parents, and we boxed and boxed and boxed and boxed stuff up. So for different places.
But that's a great way to help support the Ozark Humane Society.
But
for
now,
sure.
again, from the 5th of July to the 15th, all animals at this shelter is $40.
Okay.
That you can't beat that.
No. That is you can't beat it. That's
no, and there's a lot of paperwork that goes on behind the scenes to get the Bissell to help, and when they do help, there's paperwork to conclude it.
Well, we encourage y'all to, if you're looking for an animal and a cat or a dog, then please visit the Ozark Humane Society and go and see what's available there.
You're so cute.
See where your heart lands. And you could also take little Sugar Glider.
Yeah.
She is precious.
She is a cutie.
And she didn't make any noise in the car at all.
So she's
Wanda,
a good traveler.
we appreciate you being here.
Yeah, we do.
Well, if anyone's lost a pet from the 4th, lost my kitty, lost my doggy.com.
Okay, and check the Ozark Humane Society if you're local. All right. Well, thank you, Wanda, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll see you, I guess, in
the 21st.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All right. Well, thank you all. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. What's wrong, Dan?
That's microphone.
We are on the last, 7-8 minutes of our broadcast today. So we want to say thank you for tuning in to Around the Table daily or today. And also invite you to go to our Facebook page and give us a like and a follow and go and answer our topic to ponder.
Yeah, and if you go within the next 5 minutes, you'll get 50% off.
Of what?
If you recommend a friend to follow us.
50% off of what, Dan?
Just whatever. Well,
y'all don't listen to him.
Well,
he has
I mean,
no idea what he's saying.
Well, it's kind of one of you can't get anybody to move off center unless you give them 50% off.
I know, but are you going to be responsible for 50% off of whatever it is?
Well, if they want to know, then I'll say I could probably find you something somewhere. There's so many 50% off deals all over the place. And if you go to
what about MoarkBigDeals.com?
If you go to MoarkBigDeals.com, you get a lot of those 50% off. So
yes, you do.
Go there. If you find a great deal, then go to our Facebook page and follow us if you're not a follower. And then if you are a follower, then invite all of your friends, and then you'll get that 50% off at MoarkBigDeals.com.
Y'all.
Think it's working?
No, I think you're just spouting out information
I bet
that
you
you
I
don't
was
have any verification of.
I bet you I was a snake oil salesman in my previous
I think you probably
life.
were, and I think you probably did a really good job of it, Dan.
You know what the retirement mecca of the world is?
No. What?
It's Dirty Myrtle.
What? I don't even.
It's where the seniors are flocking.
To Dirty
Myrtle
Beach.
Myrtle Beach
okay.
in South Carolina. It's the official Myrtle Beach isn't just for spring breakers anymore. The once raucous, not raucous, raucous. Is that raucous? How do you pronounce that?
Raucous.
Raucous?
Yeah.
Okay. South Carolina beach town nicknamed Dirty Myrtle is now the fastest growing metro in the country for seniors. The over 65 crowd makes up more than a quarter of the population, and the shift from biker rallies to pickleball is real. Low taxes, warm weather, and a post-pandemic lifestyle rethink have helped turn this boardwalk town into a retirement hotspot. So,
well, who knew?
I didn't know.
Have you ever been to Myrtle Beach?
I have not been to Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
I've not been into South Carolina, North Carolina, or South Carolina. I've not been in those states.
We took a little road trip to Myrtle Beach.
Where's Savannah? Where's that at?
South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah. I keep
Savannah, Georgia. I don't.
Georgia,
Savannah,
maybe it's in Georgia.
Savannah,
I've never been on that.
Y'all, there's probably Savannah here, there, and other states as well. So
the only closest I've been to the East Coast was Disney World. And that was in the middle of the state, so I didn't even get close. So.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Cars.com just dropped its 20th annual American-Made Index, and Tesla, waving the stars and stripes, snagging 4 of the top 5 spots. The rankings factor in everything from parts sourcing to factory jobs and final assembly. The Model 3, Y, S, and X lead the list, followed by the Jeep Gladiator, with Honda locking in 3 top 10 spots. Even Kia and Volkswagen made the cut with their EVs, and turns out your next Made in America ride might surprise you.
So Honda is basically a Japanese car.
That's what I thought. So it's Made in America?
I guess they're
some
made
of
here.
it's, I don't know.
Good vehicles. I've had several of them.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
My son has one. He seems very pleased with the Kia.
Yeah, they last forever.
Well, good. Okay.
Okay.
There's that page.
Let's see. Yeah, there's that page. Not a whole lot going on. I think everybody was, having fun with the 4th of July experience. Of course, a tragedy hit in Texas with with all those campers and everything, and that's not a good thing.
No, what did it say?
And there's more rain in the forecast.
Killed 82.
Yeah, and there's more rain in the forecast, which is going to hamper the rescue. Not a rescue, but I think there may be some people that still. I mean, people
recovery
are 30
and rescue,
40 feet up in trees.
Yeah, I've read some accounts of finding these campers.
Yeah.
I can't imagine as a parent how you go through that, but
wow. Well, of course, President Trump has declared it a federal disaster, and FEMA is now on the ground. But this new rain that's coming through is going to hamper the recovery efforts, and search and rescue is going to be hampered too. So hopefully it won't be that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't even process all that. So
yeah, you know what today is?
My heart goes to him for sure.
Today
Dan,
is World Chocolate Day. It's believed that today is the anniversary of when chocolate was brought to Europe in the year 1550. It was far from a Mars bar, though. Back then, they crushed chocolate beans and brewed them like coffee. It was super bitter, but it was the Middle Ages, and that was considered a treat to drink it bitter.
Ew.
It would be a few centuries before we figured out how to add sugar, and then everything just went crazy because now everything has sugar in it.
You know, it was probably no one knew the difference back in that day.
Yeah, they didn't.
So it was probably perfectly fine. But once you've been foo-fooed, sometimes you can't un-foo-foo it. It's National Day of Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll is my favorite.
And then Tell the Truth Day.
Well,
darn
every
it.
day should be Tell the
Darn
Truth
it.
Day.
Yeah.
Global.
Go ahead.
Global Forgiveness Day. You know, that's a big thing. If you
So you
have
can tell a
somebody
lie
you need,
and then get forgiveness.
No, but if you have someone that needs to be forgiven, then I would, consider doing that.
Consider it anyway.
Yeah.
This is the day to
It causes you
think
problems.
positively about forgiving.
Yeah.
National Dive Bar Day. Have you ever been to a dive bar? I have.
Yeah.
Sleazy drinking holes, what they're called. National Macaroni Day. Mac and cheese is the number one.
Macaroni. You like your macaroni?
Mm-hmm.
Do you put fufu in it? Like, do you put barbecue in it or anything?
Macaroni?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. We'll see y'all tomorrow.